First stop, downtown Scottsdale, better known as Old Town, with its Old West feel, proliferation of restaurants, and noticeable dearth of people in the summertime.
I'm liking downtown Scottsdale. It's interesting and very unique. You can tell they're trying to make it very walkable and kind of have the aura of the Old West. If in the Old West, cowboys like to shop for turquoise jewelry and new age music.
In all seriousness, it's here where you're going to find some of the area's hottest new restaurants, as well as the city's nightlife, including honky-tonk saloons, cocktail lounges, and oddly enough, a bustling karaoke scene.
So I just checked my phone and it is officially 100 degrees outside. Everyone kind of freaks out when you say you're in Arizona and it's 100 degrees, 105 degrees, but I really have to say, and I know it's a cliche, but it's really not that bad when it's a dry heat. Case in point, I was just in Malaysia, and when it's like as low as 85, 90 degrees there, but full humidity, is way worse than what you're feeling at any time here in the dry desert heat. I'll take this any day over humidity. Speaking of the heat, one of the best times to visit Arizona is, paradoxically enough, in the middle of the summer when it's hottest out. Why is that, you may ask? Well, despite being really nice, in my opinion, to feel the heat, you actually get amazing deals. It's technically the off-season from June through August, September, and you'll find hotel rooms for 25 cents, 30 cents on the dollar, meaning you're paying $100, $150 for rooms that normally go for $400, $500. Plus the restaurants are really empty. When you go shopping, there's nobody walking around. It's actually a really amazing time to visit for cheapskates like myself. I just gave directions for the second time this trip, and I've been here less than 24 hours. Is there anything better in the world than that feeling? The roots of Scottsdale really date back to the early 1900s. Back then, an entrepreneurial group of cotton farmers wanted to take advantage of this irrigated part of the desert. The problem was there weren't enough people of this part of Arizona to actually work the fields and pick the cotton. So they actually imported 25 families from Mexico, recruited them to come here and work the area. Since then, the city has grown into what you'll see today. Behind me is the old Adobe Mission Church. This was built in 1933 and was an active part of the community here in Old Town Scottsdale for many decades after that. The church did fall into disrepair into the late 80s, 1990s, and was recently refurbished after a fundraising campaign. I'm here in Tonto National Park. This is a national park that's a 30-minute drive east of Scottsdale. Really pretty area. There's the mountains, obviously lots of cacti, a lot of different animal life you can see here, but more importantly, the Salt River. This is the main river that runs from the mountains down through the center of Phoenix, and we're gonna go on a kayaking trip down the Salt River and check it out. Should be interesting. You know, last night everyone was like, "Oh, Matt, come out for one beer. We'll have you in bed early enough so you can be up by 7 a.m. the next day." And you know how those things work out. But I'll suffer through. I think I'll make it. Just one more beer, they said last night. We'll be back home soon. 4 hours later.
The Salt River itself begins at the meeting of the Black and White River high in the mountains of Tonto National Park, then winds its way down out of the park and through Phoenix. The river is a popular place for kayakers, fishermen, odd-looking birds, and city-dwelling travel video makers engaging in dangerous activities. We then finished up at scenic Red Mountain, named because, well, you get it.
Here in the northern outskirts of Scottsdale is Taliesin West. Now, you may not have heard of Taliesin itself, but I guarantee you've heard of the designer and the owner. That's Frank Lloyd Wright, the most famous architect in all of US history. Now, Taliesin served as Frank Lloyd Wright's winter home from 1937 until his death in 1959. He would come here to escape the cold of the upper Midwest in Wisconsin.
Now, Taliesin not only served as a workshop for him to test out his ideas and to play around with some of his architectural ideas, but also served as a kind of informal university. He actually had young high school age and college age students come here and test out their ideas and learn under his tutelage. Today when you visit, it's a working museum. There's people who are living here year-round, and you can explore where he actually lived, where his wife lived, and a lot of the meeting spaces and the public spaces that he uses as part of the university. The other interesting part about this is he bought the place at the time back in the 30s when land was only $3.50 an acre. When you come and visit today, you'll see it's surrounded by the sprawl of greater Phoenix. You'll see suburbs and development all around. But it's a really beautiful area of the desert, and you get to really get into the mind of Frank Lloyd Wright when you visit. Interesting thing that was pointed out here is Frank Lloyd Wright really pioneered the idea of combining the glass into one single scene, so it seemed like you were part of the outdoors. One of his ways of integrating the nature and the outdoors with the interior portion of the building. Okay, Taliesin may not be for extreme sport enthusiasts, but Wright's influence on the American cultural landscape is hard to underestimate, and a visit here is a great way to learn about him and see why he was so unique. It's called Culture, people. Stay with me here. Travel's not all about fun and games. So we're hiking here at the Trailhead Loop. This is a trail in the McDowell Sonoran Preserve. This is amazingly a 20,000 acre preserve that's only about 20 minutes from the center of Scottsdale. I'm not sure if that's a good or bad sign that the sign is in Comic Sans, but we'll let it go this time. Of course, it's 105 degrees today. We left around 7 in the morning, so it's a little better time to get out and explore because you're only pushing around like 95, 96 degrees, so it's a little better this time of year. So what you'll see behind me is the classic Sonoran cactus. This is the probably the most iconic plant in all of Arizona. Sonoran is actually native only to this part of Arizona, which is the Sonoran Desert. So if you see a Sonoran cactus in a movie that's supposed to take place in like Utah or New Mexico, you know it's actually filmed here. Sonoran's interesting. It's very similar to much of the other part of Arizona. It's a very senior citizen. They actually take 10 years to grow 1 foot. Also, the Sonoran is the only cactus with the classic barrel arm that goes off to the side. I had a chance to speak with Phil Richards of Arizona Outback Adventures, our trail guide for the day, to ask him more about the trail and which animals exactly could potentially kill us as we wandered around.
Today we're in the McDowell Mountain Preserve. It's a preserve that's been purchased, the land's been purchased by the citizens of the city of Scottsdale. It amounts to about 42,700 acres. It's the largest municipal park in the United States. Here we have what we call locals that are out here every day, whether they're hikers, runners, equestrian, mountain bikers, they're here every day. And then the rest of them are just tourists that come and their friends and family bring them out to one of the best preserves in the United States. In the winter and in the fall and the spring, you'll see more of our animal life, but they're nocturnal mainly, which means they'll come out late afternoon. That'll be coyote. You can see mountain lion very infrequently, possibly Gila monster again very infrequently. We have deer out here, coyotes, desert tortoise, rattlesnakes, king snakes, bull snakes. Every experience is different. In the spring, you're going to see flowers. In the early morning, you're going to wow, I'm out of the heat, and you might see some animals. There's obviously every time I've seen a rattlesnake that gets your attention. I personally like rattlesnakes, and so they're always interesting. But it's when you find that maybe that rare thing, the Gila monster that I've seen maybe 4 times in 30 years out here. It's the only venomous lizard in the United States. Or the desert tortoise is a big thing that just moves very slowly, and you hardly ever see them. Those would be my favorites, yeah.
Welcome, come on into my lair. This is my pad here at Hotel Valley Ho in Scottsdale. Okay, to be honest, this is probably not a place I would normally be able to stay in, but you know, once in a while I get hooked up here with the job. So this is considered the suite. It's a sweet suite. I would probably consider it if I was to use an adjective. But it's a beautiful, beautiful space. There are smaller hotel rooms, but you know, if you want to be a baller, this is the place you stay. This is like everything you'll see in here is kind of like jet age style, streamlined, cool colors. This is like, in other words, stuff I would never do on my own at my house. I have like, mine's more like a Goodwill aesthetic than this. So this is your kitchen. You sit down here on the for breakfast and hang out, or romantic dinner, or if you're me, eating in front of the computer. But you know, that's another story. All right, so the kitchen here. Obviously, everyone's interested to see what's in your refrigerator. Well, it's technically a wet bar. At home, I normally don't have tiny bottles of Red Label and Maker's Mark, but this would be my dream kitchen. Chocolate-covered strawberries and booze, but you know. But it's also Arizona electrolytes. This is very, very important. And have you come over here? This is my living room. I mean, this is like the best couch in the world. You can't not be comfortable here. Just kind of lounge out. This is not a work couch. This is like fall asleep in the desert heat couch, or other things, which I can't say on camera. This is really, really nice. I don't know about this pillow. Sateen, I think? I don't know. I would get questions if I had that in my house. This is like my favorite part of the living room here. This is total vintage Mad Men chair. I mean, you can actually see it's a little bit distressed, you know, kind of worn in. This is like very 1964. Like if this was my living space, this would be the office. I would just have people come in. I would greet them by sitting here. I'd have them like summoned to me. I'd be like Michael Corleone from Godfather 2, just kind of really cool entrance. I'd be probably sitting here reading my copy of Phoenix's Top Doctors. So come on out. I mean, look at the space. This is amazing. Just hang out here. Long day of blogging and doing travel videos. Kind of relax in the sun. And even if you look over here, these colors here, it's this beautiful, like, kind of Southwest meets 1960 color palette. Actually, this is the coolest part. You know you're baller when you have this. I mean, come on. You can pause it. Yeah, I mean, you've made it at that point, essentially. Oh, jeez. This is the real living space. This is what you're supposed to do. Yeah, I mean, this is where all the fun happens. By that, I mean emails. Again, this is like something out of your grandmother's house from 1964, if she was a really, really cool grandmother and she saved stuff for you. Full disclosure, my apartment in New York is this size. Oh, actually, I'll be honest, it's smaller than this size. I do shave once in a while. This is like see-through shower. This is, yeah, I mean, you gotta be very, very comfortable with whoever you're staying with here. This is the sad part. Again, this is like my actual apartment back at home. 3 shirts on a hanger and like a pair of shorts. So, not the most fashionable guy, but there's a lot of space. You could definitely move in here and be set for a while. This is all just sad, no clothes. So that's it. I mean, it's hard to beat this. Again, this is Hotel Valley Hose, probably, you know, coolest space you can stay in. You could stay in a hotel room if you're lame, but you know, this is the place to stay when you're here in Scottsdale, Phoenix. So thanks for coming by. I'm gonna, I don't know, maybe relax a bit on the couch and watch some TV. Thanks again, everybody, and I'll see you soon.